It's time from sounding good all the time. It is the morning galaxy, your mid-morning cruise into the stars, into the galaxy. I am V Candy Madlamini, and it is now time for a shot in the arm, just what the doctor ordered, with the best advocate in the whole world, whole wide world, advocate Arthur Marara, an award-winning attorney, author, business, and transformational speaker. Hey, Arthur.
Weekend is really such a
Good morning. What do you say?
phenomenal. I like the white. Oh, what's already white?
Got the memo. You're looking good.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
What's your take on body shaming in marriage?
I don't understand about
Eh.
business. but this is what I think. Marriage should be a safe place where couples are not afraid to tell each other the truth, of course, with love.
With love.
And respect. Because the moment we begin to put too many boundaries, I think we're in trouble. Why? We make our spouses vulnerable. So if there's something that your spouse wants you to work on, be objective, work on it. A number of times we're always defending things that are actually causing offense to the other party. So we need to be able to listen. And once we listen, let's see how can we make the experience better. By the way, your duty as a spouse is to protect your spouse. Because every day, I don't say anything. The status every time,
So spouse Murumenim
both. So right now, if you don't create channels where people can openly speak, you're making each other vulnerable. So I really encourage couples to have conversations.
Open the communication lines,
open the lines,
in a loving way.
Loving, respectful.
And not
And,
offensive language.
And also, true. And also, I think let's learn to compliment each other so that when you criticize, it's actually accepted.
Yes.
Because a number of people are not a compliment.
Yeah.
It's criticism.
Yes. And they won't take it.
So no, that's what's a for sure. You know, kind of when I go big, and I want to also don't actually, I think it has a bit there too, and the plates, you know those things. But we're human, we're not perfect, we're always striving for progress.
Yeah. But let's get into something that I was really looking forward to talking about, social capital.
Yep. So, for your interest, I write for the Saturday Herald. Yes. So I want you to grab a copy of the Herald every Saturday. But I actually start on Friday. I write for the Business Weekly. Then on Sunday, I write for the Sunday Mail. So you can actually read my legal column. So, something called social capital. I think you saw a clip making rounds yesterday on social capital. And I'm like, let's change what I wanted to talk about. And let's start talking about this thing called social capital. So if you want the full article, you can actually get it on the Herald for the 13th August. It's available online as well. But I'm going to take you through about social capital. And I want to make a point, which I made in this article, that transactions are not made in the boardroom. They are only formalized there. By the way, transaction out of Buddha, which is no people are signing an agreement. I was not talking about boardroom. It starts elsewhere. Decisions are not actually made in the boardrooms. They are made elsewhere. And can I also shock you a bit, Vikendi? Promotions and demotions are not done in the boardroom. They are simply formalized in the boardroom. And this is why we need people to understand this thing, something called social capital. And we're going to share ideas on how you can actually build that. And the point that I also make in that very article is people are not hired in the interview rooms. Don't know I beg to apply, I beg to apply, chichi. But kune mumwe munhu akaenda kulunch, akaenda kubride at some event, kukaitwa nyaya unachigocha nyama.
Social capital.
Social capital. Nishomari inini ka ndine kamuzukuru kangu. Ndachikurawo muzukuru kapo haka, right. It's corruption. We need to understand one thing. Social capital is not corruption.
It's not nepotism.
Not even nepotism. It's called networking.
Okay.
Because decisions are actually done not in formal places. They're done in informal places. Which is why it's very, very important to build something called social capital. That's why I'm saying people are not hired in the interview rooms. They're hired somewhere else. And decisions are actually not made by people in suits. They're only formalized by them. Because right now, kune munhu arikushape life yako right now, weekend. And I don't think I have a suit. Actually somewhere. And the next thing, they will formalize that decision through people who are wearing suits. That's why I'm not afraid of people who wear suits. I'm actually afraid of those who don't even wait. Alternatively, those who don't even need to wait. Because normal levels are not normal decisions. And the point that I also make, which many people found very shocking, is people are actually not fired in the disciplinary areas. People are fired on the golf course. When I start about golf, I think I wrote the guy. Guy in the golf course. Do you know why? Because after the golf course, It's just a phone call to the HR department. Guys, this person must be suspended without salary and benefits. No matter how you hire the best lawyer, whatever. Can I talk about golf course decision? People would rather pay lawyers than pay you. And this is the reality. I even talk about it in this book called Choice Matters. My decisions are to informal places, which is why you need to be deliberate and intentional about building life outside formal setups. In other words, you need to understand the priority and the importance of something called social capital. My contracts, Vikendi, they're not awarded in boardrooms. They're awarded over tea, over coffee, over lunch. That's why it's how it about lunch. Come as you say, let's do lunch. That won't be a deliberately network. When you meet someone, I would love to just sit down with you 5 minutes just to get to learn a few more things about you. You know, bad Sira, because you know what? In those discussions, dopa is really very important. And when someone gives you that time, Vikendi, don't waste it. Have the wisdom, make the right decisions. That's why I always tell people one of the budgets I not developed deliberately is a networking budget. Networking budget. We've gone out for lunch. I do that almost every month. I do that. Why? I want to grow my social capital. Unfortunately, in school, we're not taught these things. So I met someone yesterday after reading this clip of the article. He says, Ndara, I was reading this portion. Doctor, this thing is very important. You know, it's my streets. When it runs my streets, we can be very important. My decisions are counted on my funerals. People don't know that. My decisions are not on my birthday party. My decisions are
social circles.
I need to my social circles. I need to my bridal shower. I need to that church conference. My decisions. Which is why it becomes very, very important to understand the principle that I'm going to share with you today. Number one, the first principle, Weekend, is you need people. Do not want to start, hey, I don't need people, I've got my things, Shamak. That's one of the greatest lies ever told. As long as you're a human being, you need people. That's why you should stop looking down at people, because you don't know who you're dealing with.
No, it's the same thing even if you pray to God.
Yep.
He doesn't really come down himself. He uses people.
He does use
Your
people.
destiny helpers are people.
They're actually people.
Human beings.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why one thing that I want to encourage people is every time when you see a person, learn to respect them. I think we talked about that last time.
Yeah.
Learn to respect people, even if you don't know what they're doing for a living. And always stay humble, Vikendi, because your first birth was done by other people. And your last is going to be done by other people. And your burial, guess what? It's going to be done by other people. And that's why one of the things you need to realize is no matter how powerful you are, you're not going to bury yourself. You're not going to carry yourself in a coffin. Which is why we need to realize that we need other people, and we need to be deliberate in building healthy social capital. A number of times on our hands we see, but why is it once quite a funeral 600 kilometers?
Yes.
Auto driver
Kwazi.
600 kilometers kunzvimbo isana road achikuwa mota yake chibaiwa achikuwa chiboponjwe somewhere achiboponja could build a social capital, because you realize you need people. But one of the things we need to realize, Vikendi, is the best time to actually build your social capital is when you don't think you actually need the contacts. That's the best time. We are just having social conversations. But number one, Vikendi, what if they call you? They're asking for help. You know very well this person does not always do this. It means they are seriously in need of assistance, and they'll actually help you. And I just want to stress a bit about the importance of social capital. I shared this story in the article about this guy. We're doing lunch. Social capital, we're doing lunch. This guy is doing massive. You know, when I heard the numbers, he's making over 30,000 USD every week. He says, Marara. So I was asking him, how did you start your journey? He's not even Zimbabwean. He comes from Nigeria. He says, my brother, the first week that I came into Zimbabwe, I made $4,000. I'm like, how? I didn't have money, but I made $4,000. And I'm saying, how did you do it? He says, the answer was simple. He says, trust. Trust. And I'm like, how does this trust work? He said, trust in people. He knew people who trusted him, and he introduced him to the people that trusted them. And guess what? He didn't breach the trust. Right now, there's a
That's
tragedy.
so powerful.
There's a tragedy.
That's so powerful.
Weekend, I ask you to connect on a 1, 2, 3. I needed a meeting. Guess what? Don't know which one go.
Yeah.
The next thing, I'm going to talk you down.
Yes.
So this is the reason why some people are not going to open doors for other people, because you cannot be trusted with access. You can't be trusted with an opportunity. And the moment people begin to trust you, they'll even trust with their money, which is why we need to learn to earn the trust of people. Do you know, $500 on sign a document. So, Peter Mwan 10,000. This now you're on 20,000. No agreement, no nothing. Of course, I'm a lawyer, encourage people to write. But there are certain numbers, you know, move. That's not paper one. Trust. There are certain people right now, we move a marriage, just sign a mangwana and that's office. Trust. Which is why we need to work on becoming people of trust. Be trustworthy. In other words, if someone recommends you, if someone opens a door for you, go and be a person of trust. A number of people right now, they don't actually want to work with people from church, if you've noticed.
Yeah, right.
By contract, you give them a contract. Someone did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The next thing they don't deliver. How far? I know the devil is a liar. The devil is a liar. I was someone that do you know it? Are you able to do it? The next thing, no. Satan and so forth, guys. Let's learn. Let's learn to be people who can be trusted, because that becomes very important. And the point that I want to stress, weekend, is let's learn to value people. And the point that I make is the most important asset you have in your life is not your job, is not money or title, it is people. By the way, something called social capital is more important than money.
Your network.
Your network is much more important than money. That's why, in
how do you capitalize it? How do you turn it into
conversations, character, integrity? Tanga what trusting. So if someone likes you, they'll listen to you. And if someone trusts you, they'll give you their money. Either that person who can be trusted, Shoma. And one of the things, if you want to turn away people, go to people asking for money.
Go to rich people asking for money.
Go to rich people asking for money. So this is the tragedy of our generation, Vikendi.
Yeah.
Every time people see people are rich, people are successful, they ask for money. Can I tell you one of my secrets? I don't ask for money.
Yes,
I don't ask for money. I don't. Why? Because money is a way of destroying relationships. Because you see, people are always asking for money from people who are successful, rich. Can I use the appropriate words? They end up becoming a nuisance. The moment people realize that, I don't know, they'll begin to avoid you. But let's have conversations where we can actually talk without asking for money. Even if someone who is well successful than you takes you out for lunch, let me pay. No, let me pay. Not because you got the money, the principle.
That's good. Yeah.
This guy, I'm having lunch with a millionaire. I've done that. No, you get it by the way. Not because I for the money, because I also want to seed into the capital.
Principle.
The principle. So that your presence is not confused for begging. Okay. So that your presence.
Are you listening? Are we learning? Yes, we are. We're also live, by the way, on the Skype and Facebook page. Social capital. Social capital. So that your presence is not confused.
Your presence should never be confused for begging. And secondly, your greetings should never be confused for begging. Go through my message. I don't ask for money. I don't ask for money. I don't. Why? Because people wait to dread my presence. I don't want. If I'm going through something that I need to work, I'll find a way. When it comes to my network, I want to reserve my network for other things that are better.
They can give you access to other
doors. And see, the moment you begin to be valuable, which is one of the things, learn to be valuable to people in your network. Be an asset. I'll tell you one thing. There's so many engagements that I've gone and spoken for free. Not because I don't want the money, because I understand the value and the priority of building something called social capital. Do you know what? Because it takes one person, right audience, to notice your talent, and they'll do something that even your bosses could not do for you.
That will change your life.
That will change your life forever. Right now, you've been doing a lot of Sadak. It just took one person. One person. Yeah. And guess what? That door has been open for you forever. Why? Because once the door has been opened, it's the character that runs with you. It's the character that you have that will determine whether that door remains open or not.
I remember interviewing Bishop Tito Bismarck saying that his favorite verse is, your gift will make room for you
amazing.
And bring you before kings. But then he says the trick now is to know how to handle yourself when you are before kings.
Exactly.
That will make you stay there.
True.
Or it will just be the end of you.
In other words, you need to learn how to behave in the face of greatness.
Yes.
You actually need to prepare for it as well. How do I conduct myself? How do I package myself? How do I present myself? Kuna vanhu vari talented, but guess what? Havatombonakizi to be around. Courage yakadhakwa, pride yakazara. The next thing they want to prove a point, apa ndiyakumbira audience neni. So, learn how to package yourself. And once you realize this, we're talking about valuing people. Remember, your answers and solutions to your problems are hidden in people. What you're calling a problem right now, someone is already talking about testimonies. Why? Because my answers are movano. And whatever problem that you're facing right now is not new, by the way, because someone has already gone through it, and someone has actually dealt with it, and someone has actually managed to develop what works and what doesn't work. Do you know, Kuti, it takes one person to change your life.
Just one.
One. And if you're not careful, it also takes one person to ruin it. Yeah. Which is why Zidzira Kunguwa nice to people. Be kind to people.
Be humble.
Be
Sit
humble.
down.
You lose nothing. No. You lose nothing by being humble. In those of now with 1,000 followers, I'll talk to my manager. Talk to my PA. Do you know who I am? Do you know who I am? Hey, it's not talk to my assistant. No, I'm busy. Anyway, where don't busy so you're confused.
You're not very busy,
hey, I'm busy. So, Zidzira Kuzokut, if certain people reach out to you, this is my title, be humble. But how can I assist you? I can come and sit down with you. What time works best for you? All right, it's fine. I can even come through, even after work. And I want you to realize, always realize one thing. People always dread abusers. That's why when you're building your social capital, don't aim to be a parasite. Which is why, when I don't confuse a Kambinga syndrome, social capital. No.
Yeah.
Binga. No, that's a level of parasiticism. You end up private school. But the truth, even when out in binga, our tombo kumirwa mari. Our tombody. That's why learn to ask intelligent questions. Learn to have intelligent questions. And learn to have better conversations. Guess what? It will change your life. I wish we had more time, weekend. We have a lot of things to cover. But what I want people to realize is social capital is going to open new doors for you. Social capital is going to take you places that ordinarily you will not be. Social capital, ichaita kuti album rako chimunza ango release wangwana mira queue kuri submit arakuroto tsvagwa rakwatsatana tipe. That's why kuna one net an airplay kweta wanga fastera airplay. Social capital yakakosha. I went to this bank. I was curious. So, do you know what I said? Hey, I just know me. No, I just want to see the manager. Does we go to the message? Apparently, someone who knows me. Yeah. And that was a wonderful office. They don't social capital.
What is corruption? Nice.
Social capital. Yeah, they don't social capital. So that's what we want to do. I think we'll continue this conversation maybe next week or so. But you can actually read the full article on the Herald website. Those who want to connect with me, I'm on social media. If you want to go on our WhatsApp platforms, they're free. 078 00 55152. 078 00 55152.
Oh, this was just powerful.
Thank you.
Wow.
Social capital.
Messages on WhatsApp. Social capital.
Yeah.
It's so important, imperative, hey?
I'm actually on A because of social capital.
Yes.
Yep.
Advocate Arthur Marara. We went live, by the way, on the Strife Facebook page. You can go check it out. It has been a shot in the arm, just what the doctor ordered, right here on Strife. Sounding good all the time, taking our time to 10 o'clock time for the